You know what we doing.
Y'all know it takes a special track to do this. I'm Mama P's and Q's dripping sauce. It's just the fluid, it's the chef. I'm here to remind y'all I'm sick with it. My name is stuff that's hot, it's ubiquitous. Meaning it's one and the same, simple and plain. I'm all about my paper, the bacon, cheddar, and pain. I got these lanes running for the border. The talented Mr. Porter, keep it flowing like it's water. But here we go, there we go, creeping to a low speed. Is it him and his friend sitting in the nosebleeds? Play it cool, he ain't special just cause he's on TV. Everybody's hands up, acting like they know we.
Welcome to another episode of the Taste Music Here Food Podcast Show. I am your host, Ed Porter. This is the place for food, music, and culture and how they all connect. Today, we have two very amazing guests that traveled such a very long way to be here today. Before we get started, I definitely want to attempt to give them the proper flowers they deserve with this intro. Okay, so here we go. Today's guests are the heartbeat behind one of the most culturally rich and unapologetically flavor-driven spots in the Twin Cities. These partners, both in life and in business, aren't just making tortillas. They're preserving stories, honoring ancestry, and redefining what modern Mexican food can look like through Nixta and Aura by Nixta. From the ancient tradition of Nixtamalization to a James Beard nod that turned heads nationwide, their work isn't just about the food on the plate, it's about the soul behind it. They're bringing the baselines of Hidalgo, Mexico, and the tempo of Minneapolis into one shared rhythm. So let's tap in, because today we're talking about heirloom corn, cultural preservation, creative grind, and the melody behind the masa. Welcome to the table, Gustavo and Kate Romero.
That seemed perfect to me.
Yep.
Okay.
Do. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for having us. Yeah.
Everybody has first off, this is my corny
Let's-
shirt.
I'm
My
so
corny
sorry.
shirt is in honor
Yeah.
of you guys. I'm a lover of all things tortillas. Honestly, I think it's the perfect bread. It's a vehicle. It is a bread.
It's a vehicle,
It
yes.
is the perfect vehicle. Talk to me about how you guys. First off, how'd you guys meet? That's even a better question. How'd you guys meet?
It's my fault. He's
Yeah.
here. He likes to point that out.
You did it. Okay.
I was raised in Poland for many years, but when I was 11, 12 years old, we moved here to Minneapolis. I grew up here for the most part and then went out to San Francisco to do a little post-culinary school, like big dreams. I want to cook there and
Got you.
eventually have my own restaurant. And then that's where I met him.
In San Francisco.
Mhm.
Awesome. What years was that? Around.
2009. No,
Yep.
2010 is when we started working together.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I lived in the Bay for 11 years. So I actually was here in '98, opened up Aquavit, left in '03, went to the Bay. I was there for 11 years. I love the Bay Area. It's different.
It's wonderful.
It's a lovely.
and it's super culturally
I love
rich.
it. I
so-
literally love the Bay Area. It's one of those places that you just have to experience. That's okay. From there to here, though, like how?
Well, I think we were kind of done with San Francisco.
Yeah.
He left to go to Miami and help fix a restaurant down there for
Yeah.
a restaurant group. I think he ended up working at like 2 restaurants. I moved back home, so I was like, and we were doing long distance.
Yeah.
Then there was the idea that, maybe we'll like Miami enough and I'll go down there. And then I went to Miami. And I was
Yeah,
like,
Miami's good for the weekend.
It's so good.
Yes.
2 days max.
Well, I went, it was wonderful to go like around, Thanksgiving or like when it's cold. But then when you go in June, you're like, I can't do this right now.
Miami is a beautiful
Mm-hmm.
place. Great food, scenery, beach, all those things.
Yeah.
It's not real. Like there's a lot. It's not like you would.
It's actually good.
It's very Hollywood.
Yes.
It's hard to describe that. Like nothing against it. I just think that it's not. It's such a tourist destination that like you have to go to the outskirts
Yes.
of Miami to really see people live.
Mhm.
And for especially raising a family, that's not.
Yeah.
At least that's not how I think of that as well. Like for me, when I had my family, like I had an opportunity to go back to New York. First off, my kids are way too soft. My kids are way too sheltered, and I've baby birded them too much. So they wouldn't survive. They'd be broken naked on the corner in under an hour. But yeah, this is a great place. Minnesota is a great place to raise a family for sure.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know if that was our plan when he ended up moving here. There was a long period of time where we were like, we don't really want to have kids. We were on that page for a very long time. But we both, what I knew once I moved back from San Francisco is that this city was getting, like, the culinary scene was growing.
Absolutely.
At that time. So we came back and it was 2013, 2014. So when you started seeing a lot more pedigree and it was like, we can probably have something here. We can maybe own a business here one day. If not, we'll be working in this city that is starting the trend, right? The trend is starting of like good food and good eating. Where in San Francisco, I was like, this has been there for years. It's established.
It's well established.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So again, I came here in '98 with a restaurant that was established in New York because there's a large population of Swedes here outside of Sweden. Way ahead of its time. At that time, there was Goodfellows, Murray's. Those were the only two fine dining establishments here. So somebody didn't do the research enough to understand that it was way too early on for that. There is literally, specifically now, of course, with you guys being a part of that, the movement, you can get pretty much the best of any cuisine in the cities,
and a lot of it in this 8-block radius.
This is insane. So like this is like restaurant road, becoming restaurant. Like I'm talking about heavy hitters though. It's not just like food. All this you can just stumble upon any one of these corners and have the best meal of your life. That to me is special, but people don't talk about it. Like it's not. It's known, but you have to be in the know to know, right? And so. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that it's okay? So you have Chicago, right? So you'd be hard pressed to find a couple of blocks or a 4-mile radius like what we have here in any city, except for San Francisco, New York. Okay, Chicago is, but not that much of a congestion of that pedigree of restaurants. Why do you think that it's not really celebrated the way that it is in other cities here?
I think that a lot of people don't understand that it's happening. I think for you to realize that it's happening, you have to go to other places and figure out that it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not normal.
and for us, that we have the opportunity to live in different places and work in different places. You work in a restaurant, except for like places like San Francisco, where like you go around the corner, it was another badass restaurant. Is most places they have one place here and then another place there, and it's kind of like scattered over the city. And then when you stay in a place like the one that we have right now, and then you can just like cross the street and go to another place, or go next door and go to another place, I think it's very special. And I think that people start realizing, because we see a trend of people just coming and then having a drink with us and then going to eat with Gia or going to Ann, and then, and just like, they kind of like they see what that does. And from the beginning, when we start like working in there, and like we saw these places opening, having Christina like a few blocks from where we had too, like we always say that like this was so good for us, because people have like, now people can drive here and be like, if we cannot get to one place, we go to another.
Park and just walk.
And just walk around and see where you can get in.
And for so long, this part of Northeast was like, and is still known as the arts district. So like art forward. But people, we're bringing more art here when you think about it with the food. Like we want to be in a place where, like, especially for our restaurant, a lot of the art we have on our walls is local artists art.
Absolutely.
Because we want to celebrate that, and then have people come celebrate that with us.
Yeah. I liken it to the theater district. And any city, any major city has a theater district. And you'll have the theaters, and then you have museums, and they're all clustered together. And so that is how I look at this, honestly. And it is art. Food is art, and it's the whole dining experience. And to be able to have that in such a rich tapestry
Mhm.
in just a small radius is super cool and unique. And it should be celebrated. And because that's not a normal thing. And
It's not.
and it takes years to develop that, like
Yeah.
a San Francisco
Mhm.
or New York.
Mhm.
That didn't just happen overnight. So yeah, I mean, and you guys are, like you said, you definitely celebrate local art and art in general because, as we all know, you eat with your eyes first, right? And so that is well represented in everything that you guys do. Everything you guys do. It is super duper intentional and purposeful. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the intention to detail to every little thing, even down to the name. Nixta, of course, that's a nod to the magical process of. So I spent a month in Mexico doing some tequila research for
So mostly like Jalisco and Guadalajara.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
I had a blast. So I was just down there because we're doing opening up a new restaurant. And I wanted to do some research, and so I was set up with some people and going to look at all the agaves and the whole process of making tortilla, everything. So I fell in love with. Obviously, I was just geeking out. It's just like I love the process. How everything that you guys do is intentionally to highlight the corn, right? Because that's where it all starts from. Talk to me about laying in all that intention to everything that you're doing. So I think it's a super duper skill set to do it so seamlessly so that most people don't see it. So let's speak to that. Let's talk about how and why.
I I think it kind of grow as we were growing. You know, the we always wanted to have a restaurant, like that was a dream. But we never knew how it was gonna happen and what it was gonna happen. So when we start making family meals and we start putting tortillas into the packaging and we start seeing the reaction of people and we got approached by stores saying like, hey, we want to sell you tortillas. First, an opportunity to market, but also we saw an opportunity where a lot of people didn't know what it was. A lot of people will ask us, "Is this flour? What are you putting for coloring?" And have to explain to people that corn was different, and then um, the importance of it. I think that's kind of when it clicks for us to be like, we can we can change something here. You know, we're in the middle of corn country, and people saw corn completely different the way that we saw it. And it was a very important part for us to share the importance of it and
Education, right?
education.
Like the
Yeah.
education part, because I think we looked at it too. It's like started with tortillas, the humble tortilla, but people had to learn about the process. The process is so much different than
Yeah.
like a regular tortilla, not just mixing masa harina with water and,
Yeah.
and pressing it and it's done. You're doing this long cooking process. Then after the tortilla, when we were like, well, we can also teach people what else they can do with this dough.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the biggest part of that is you guys this becoming what it is, you're also helping to preserve the heirloom corn because I'm a huge component of, you know, being able to have access to things in their original state because they were never broken to begin with. And so there's a vast different amounts of types of corn and they have everything changes with that and it's not all corn is not created the same.
No.
And then there's this, I mean, it's so many different varieties and there's
Yeah.
the different applications for it and the fact that you become it's the museum of for the corn, honestly. And so I think it's super cool. I really do. And it's definitely a labor of love. Like we were talking about off camera before, the it's not a cheap process.
No,
It's not
definitely not. You know, and it's important to see it that way because I think we have the option. You know, now is the company that we purchased the corn from. They produce flour, which we know they use good corn to process the flour. But that doesn't change what we want to do, and it doesn't change our idea and our commitment to show people what our food is actually look like,
Yeah.
and the importance on the process, and the importance on the flavor, and the importance of um, what culturally means to us to be able to do it that way.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
and because it's such a labor of love, and it is such a labor cost wise, I think it puts us in a unique position. If we continue to do this and we respect the process, we want people to eat things that are not just better tasting, but better for their body.
Absolutely.
Maybe that'll you know, restaurants a hard business, so maybe it will be around for a while.
Yeah. Trickle down effect. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'd like to play a little game right now. So we do
Oh, fun.
this little game we're gonna play is called This or That,
Mhm.
but it's the husband and wife
Oh,
edition.
dang it. I knew you were
Yes,
gonna say
I don't have this opportunity.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I now I get to this is gonna be good for me. And it's
hustle us.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna see also why I think the reason our business is successful is because we are very different.
and that is the key. So every good business relationship, you have alter egos in
Mhm.
different areas. Like so, wherever one is lacking in or overbearing in one area, you have to have that balance. It makes for the best relationships, whether business or not, have to have that levity. So,
Mhm.
all right. So here we go. This is that. So I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to get an answer from both of you on the question. All right. So, which one hits harder? Arguments in the kitchen or silence in the car ride home?
Arguments in the kitchen.
Yes.
Yep, because it affects everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh crap, who
That's-
heard that?
that's-
Because we're also like, damn
Yes.
it,
I'm
I
like-
can't believe I just said that to you. He was right there.
Well, you don't think about it.
No,
Like,
no,
You're
no.
hot, and you say something, and you're like, oh crap.
and
Just
just
then the silence in the car ride follows.
yeah, that it's coming anyway.
It's
It's
coming
coming
anyway.
anyway.
It's true. It's like one needs to happen before the other.
Yeah. It's passion. So that's the passion.
passion.
That's
Yes.
what it is. Okay. Which one wins in your kitchen? Take a risk on a new dish or play it safe with a signature hit?
Take a risk.
Mhm.
100%.
I like that. Plus, you always have the base of the safe. It's
You
nice.
can always go back.
You can
know?
always do exactly.
Yeah.
It's never going anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had to
We know
do
this
that
works.
sometimes with dishes. We're like, okay, this was, but
Yeah.
then it gets reviewed, and
Yeah.
then people keep coming in and asking for it. Like, okay, I cannot hear about it anymore. Put that dish back on the menu next week. We
Yeah.
have the mole.
Yeah, let's just make it. Let's just make it. Okay. Where's your compass pointing right now? Build the brand bigger or protect the peace?
Interesting.
I think we both have different answers.
I'm
but
sure
I
you
think
do.
that's because we like he wants to build it bigger, I think.
Yes.
And he always says he wants to be retired by 50. Well, that's
Yes.
approaching it's about 17 years. No, I'm just kidding. But
You don't look a day with 20, man. What
I
do you
think
think?
that's what he does that part while I make sure, and we have the help of my wonderful sister who helps us do all the back end business stuff. We do that for him so we can do both at the same time.
Understood.
Mhm.
So builder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
So like exactly what you
I
said.
I like peace, but I think having a goal to attain it provides peace in the long run.
Very true. You can't shake up the world in a vacuum.
Mhm.
You need to.
Well, they don't necessarily always have to be like, oh, we want another restaurant, we want another business. One of the things he's doing right now is this beautiful USDA funded project that is about it's bringing chefs from all around the country to come here and work with the scientists from the U of M to adapt this heirloom corn here.
Right.
So he's been growing it for years, and now we're going to do testing, and that is part of building it too.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. That's cool. By the way. What fills you up more? Being praised for your food or being seen for your purpose?
Same
Purpose.
for purpose.
Absolutely.
100%.
Mhm.
100%.
As I think if you get the purpose, then you get the food.
Absolutely. Well,
I mean,
So
you know, like
so-
the preservation of corn and that, like you can, you know, sometimes maybe you won't like a dish, but you can respect the fact that I'm trying to teach you
Absolutely.
something with it.
yeah. I look at it that way. You know, it's like with music, right? You don't have to. I understand that you can see talent, right? You can
Mhm.
see
Mhm.
the level of intent and years it took to attain a certain skill set.
Process.
Whether it's my jam or not, like
Mhm.
I can see the skill,
Mhm.
so I respect it. And food is funny too because we were just talking about this earlier. The barrier to entry to be an expert, so to speak, about certain things, a critic, is very low. So the average person doesn't understand what it takes to get from point A to point B, and something that looks so simple to do, the level of skill set and time and energy and research that went into. It's like I'm pretty sure down the line after you did finish this project with, they're not going to talk about the 10 years before that went
Mhm.
into, you know, the research.
The research.
And that to me is the travesty of the industry. And I think things are turning a little bit because the more that we put things out there, people get to see
Well,
and
and I think like people see, now you can see videos and you see like
Mhm.
how intricate things can get. And, we always talk about a restaurant and whether it's not perfect, it's like, it was perfect for us. But I always say that I would like for us to have an open kitchen because you see a dish, a masa dish in the plate, and you're like, oh, it's corn again, and they just this stuff, but you don't get to see like how it's made, and I think that's super important. I think that like again, like the process is what's expensive.
right.
And trying to explain people that you're not just paying for the what you get in the plate, you also get paid for all the time that is spent creating that dish.
Yeah, and the years of knowledge it took to attain it, right? To
Mhm.
get there, to get to where you are. That is the most important thing. So let's talk to me about the role that music plays because it's a huge cultural thing specifically. It plays in your so I've been in the restaurant
Mhm.
and the music is a heavy influence
Mhm.
in the vibe of the environment. So tell me how much of an important role it plays. And I haven't been in the kitchen, so I'm sure it's a different thing.
Oh, it's
back
a
there.
party in
I know
there.
I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing. So
I was like, turn it down. I can't talk to you.
No, it's super important though. We grow up, and then I include my team because we kind of culturally again it's the same. We wake up every day with music. That was my mom.
Yep.
Like it was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning when you go to school. Like the first thing she would do would turn on the radio. So music's always been so important. Even if I wasn't allowed to cook when I was at home, I would remember seeing my family in the kitchen with loud music, screaming, throwing shit at each other,
Yeah.
cooking amazing meals. And then it just is part of us, like I mean, I dance without music.
Absolutely.
I'm tapping all the time. Like I'm a horrible singer. Like, she can attend to that.
He's a bad singer, but he's an excellent dancer.
There you go. Play to your strengths.
and I think you see the difference. I guess the times where you get really busy and like the music kind of die down for any reason, and people still so into what they do, and they kind of forget there is no music. But
Mhm.
the difference between having music or not is also very noticeable. It's a rhythm that you pick up as you. It's almost like you need like a background noise
Absolutely.
to be able to perform better. And I work in kitchens where the kitchen music was not allowed, or I remember a chef that told me that was the sound of concentration one time when he like turned the music off. um and there's things that you remember, you like, I get that, and I get the importance of being able to focus on what you're doing. um but for me it's just, I like to see my kitchen in a way where people are comfortable, and people feel happy doing what they do.
Mhm. Well, and
Absolutely.
that's the thing. Music and food, I think, release endorphins in a part of our brain, right?
Mhm.
That like, if happy people make happy food.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely transfers into whatever you're doing, whatever you're touching. The other thing is too is transformative, right? So and when when you walk through the threshold of your restaurant,
Mhm.
you're transported because of all the things happening to your senses. So what you see, what you hear, what you smell, and then finally, once you taste, you're transported into
Yeah.
a certain mode and mood, and that to me, music is definitely a huge part of that. But it also is into the mentality of the people that are creating everything. So that understanding that how important that is the key. So what would you say if you had to create a playlist for that sets the mood for the restaurant? What would you say that is?
Probably cumbia.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
something, I mean, we play different genres and the Latin um and all the Latin genres there are
yep.
within Latin music. But I would say that the most consistent one is cumbia. Is an upbeat,
Happy.
happy, and then we know the song, so we just like walk around singing songs, and
It's a lot of Selena in the restaurant.
it's definitely a lot of Selena, and
Queen. Just gotta be
Yes,
there.
you got listen. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's talk about culture and identity. So your work emphasizes heavily the importance of preserving Mexican culinary traditions, as well as utilizing what is readily available to, in a way, highlight the area as well. And so, how do you balance authenticity and innovation in a dish?
well, we try to search things as close as we can. We work with a couple farmers. They're actually pretty cool. We work with Black Radish Farm. I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah.
them. They rent spaces, like backyards for
Wow.
people, and then they grow stuff there, and then
Last year they were really cute because I was like, I need the poblano for the relleno to be exactly this big. So they would just come every week and be like, "Is this the right size?"
yeah, but you create those relationships, and
Mhm.
I think that kind of helps with like with what we look for, because now they come to me, they're like, well, I have these things, and I'm like, okay, well, send it to us, and then we figure out how we merge into the menu. And then I talked with Jose, who's my chef de cuisine, and was like, okay, we're gonna have these items for the next 2 months. Like, how do we incorporate it into the menu? And then when it comes to like trying to keep it as culturally uh, as we can, like we also trying to look for all the ingredients that are very important for us that people don't know them a lot.
Mhm.
So whenever we have
And
like,
ingredients too that are like specifically Minnesota, right? Like,
right,
So that's
so
how.
it's
So
like
right,
wild
yeah,
rice, or if we do
yeah,
venison on the menu, like
yeah.
having that
yeah.
cross
Yeah,
too.
we're trying to tap into, living here and working. I have the opportunity to work in good restaurants here, and I was able to pick up those things that people really like. Like,
Yeah.
we made a pescadilla with walleye, and they're
I was
like,
gonna say, I'm like, yeah.
yes,
I was,
like you have to have walleye. Like,
you
this is,
have to
we
have
have
it.
or horchatas with wild rice. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's those things that people will recognize and be like, okay, I know this is different, but I know this, and I
Right.
know that it's gonna be good because I know that part of the
Absolutely.
dish.
Yeah. Those, and that's the unique thing with, and there's both food and music do the same thing. So usually, if somebody wants to make a hit, they look at another hit, like, okay, let's look at the parts of that song that make it a hit, and let's try to infuse some of that into whatever this new thing is. And that's just to create familiarity and to lessen the blow of people wanting to try something. So but the innovation that comes in that, I think, is amazing. So that's how all of the things that we deem to be certain foods, they're American creations. Like
Mhm.
Chinese food here is not Chinese food in China. It's not
Mhm.
not even
Yeah.
remotely close. So it's not. So these are all American creations. The fortune cookie was invented in San Francisco. So it's
Yeah.
not.
Oh yeah, I've been to the factory.
Yeah,
that
yeah, me
that
too.
make
Oh, I love
cookies
it.
with the
Oh my
fortune.
goodness. So I did in the restaurant. I made a huge fortune cookie
Mhm.
that had the dessert in it.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, so I found a process of like, okay, how can I do this? And it was a timing thing. So the cookie hardens and then it gets crispy. Like, okay, how can I? So I went to the factory and found, okay, I just need to jumbo size that thing so I
Mhm.
can figure it out. But yeah, I just,
That's
again,
so fun.
a geek. I'm just a geek.
Yeah.
um, can you tell me a story about, for you specifically, a dish that is near and dear to your heart for whatever reason it is that you don't even want to touch? So I'll use an example. So this, um, I'm not really a fan of tuna fish, right?
Mhm.
But my grandmother used to make a tuna fish sandwich for me that to this day I just won't make it. I won't make it for myself. I don't even want to make it because it has so much value to me emotionally that I wouldn't even touch it. I just deem that it's off the since she passed. I'm never having that again. I'm just not, and it's fine. And no, because I attribute because I don't want to
Have a
mess
crappy
my
tuna
memory
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So also the reason why it was such a great sandwich. She baked the bread. She grew the tomatoes. She made,
Yes,
she
yeah,
she
yeah.
made she
Of course.
did it all. And so, is there anything like that to you
I
that
don't
you just like? You know what? I don't want to sell it, so
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
Oh,
I
like
think
that we make.
no that that is tied to a memory,
Hmm.
whether it be
Okay.
from childhood or anything.
Okay.
Like, you know what? I don't want to. And if I do it, it's gonna be such a far departure from what it was because I don't want to. You know,
yeah, I think well, I two examples. I think we make a version of a beef tartare that is far removed from what Kate's mom make because I think they trying to make a traditional tartare they would taste like the one that she made like it was just not
won't
gonna
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
So we go like completely far away from that. When it comes to my food, I think that I spend so much time trying to cook with memories and trying to bring some of those ideas and some of those things that my family would make for us. They, I don't think I have anything like that. I think that
Yeah.
every good dish that my mom made, like I was trying to replicate it so many times and trying to get as close as possible,
Yes.
just because
To have their
of
memory.
the memories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, and to achieve that goal, there's a very real reality that your parents will hopefully be here longer than your parents. So
Right.
it's like I want to learn how to make a cabbage roll from my mom, or how to make
Yeah.
the fermented rye soup that she makes every Easter, because it's
Yeah.
like I can't imagine not having that. But yes, I've tried to replicate some of her stuff, and it takes months or even years to be
Yes.
like, and it's
Yes.
still like just a little off. But
Yeah.
it's
Like.
the love. Then
Yeah.
you just blame it on the love.
Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. That those. I always say that in for cooking, whether you're cooking in the restaurant or at home. First off, it's the biggest form of expression of love that you can do is to make something from the heart to give somebody to nourish their body and spirit. But you're either trying to recall a past favorable memory or create a new one.
Mhm.
That's it. That's literally
Yeah.
that's all we're trying to do. And
Yes.
so if you've done that, you've done your job. Because everybody's been somewhere, and this one the job is not successful. We've gone out to eat someplace and you can't remember at all.
Hmm.
It's just the time we had. It's usually
I
because
had
of
food.
Yes.
because of the company you kept. Oh, we had a
Yeah.
good time. What'd you eat? Oh, chicken dish, I think. Yes. And so that
Yes.
you didn't pull
It's
on the heart.
very
Yeah, you didn't
it's
pull on the
very it's
heartstrings.
very limited the times I think that you remember food meals. There has to be
It
like
has to be
extremely special.
exactly. Okay, let's talk about first off, congratulations on Bon Appetit being named one of the 20 best new restaurants in 2020.
Thank
So
you.
that's a huge thing. Specifically, um, being that you already have. I think it's harder to to keep
Mhm.
the mystique when you have it. It's easy to win a title. It's hard to keep a title, right?
Mhm.
And so the fact that you guys have not only been recognized, you know, now, but you've been being recognized since you started, and that is a testament to your consistency and your love for what it is you're doing, and the fact that you guys have this perfect balance. It definitely, like you said, Gustavo, is definitely the reason why this works. And so kudos to that, because that's a huge accomplishment for obviously yourselves, your team specifically, and then everybody who gets to join in the party. So I always say that I think a restaurant, especially a restaurant of your caliber, you're inviting people in to have a piece of you. Like this is like if my house was big enough. If my house was big enough, this is what it would be. And so welcome into the house. So that itself is an amazing and beautiful thing. How have you seen the accolades, the James Beard's nomination? How have you seen that impact the operations of your mission?
I think they give us a great sense of responsibility. We understand the microphone got bigger. There is gonna be more people seeing us. There's gonna be people that are more critical seeing us, and then we create an expectation for what people come to a restaurant. They're where before they came to a place where we were doing something. Now they come to a place that we're doing something and it's nationally recognized.
Mm-hmm.
So their expectations are huge. And I think they're like any accolade that you get, it's great for the business, it's great for morale, it's great for just to kind of see where you are standing. It's great for the team because they feel part of something important. And I think that we just trying to maintain it, as much as we can. We trying to we don't go crazy. We don't change much of anything. We just continue to work and trying to provide the best product, the best service possible.
Yeah, you guys will. So there's two types of, and you know this. There are establishments and restaurants that create restaurants for the instinct purpose of attaining an award, right? And then there's people that just do the work, right? And so because this is what we do, and we didn't change or alter anything for the sake of this, and nor will we do it to retain it. This is just how we do it. This is why we do it, and we're going to continue to do it. And if you appreciated that before, you will always appreciate it. And that to me is the mark of a great restaurant. It's like, okay, we're creating the wave. You're not changing to fit any narrative. So kudos to that. That's you guys will be great.
There's plenty of places, I think that we have modeled ourselves after that are across the country. There just hasn't been anything, I think, in Minnesota that has kind of pushed that envelope with Mexican food and corn. And again, the hard process of nixtamalization. So that really helped, and pivoting at every turn, right? Because we started in COVID and then it was like, okay, now you can do something else. So let's change this. And then let's change this. And it was little by little. It's hopefully full grown.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I don't think
we'd
we'd have to leave the building if we want to do anything else, because we took we had the dining room, then we moved into the bar, then we have a courtyard now. So we're out of space now.
We just have to buy the block now. So let's talk about nixtamalization. Let's really describe the process, because I had the great fortune to watch, masters at work at Halesco. But just speak to the process, and because it's central to what it is you do. So,
well, we import all the corn from Mexico. That's like one of the most important pieces of it. And then to be able to process and activate all the good enzymes in corn, you have to put it through this process of nixtamalization, which is cooking with an alkaline solution that will help remove the outer skin, and then it will activate all the good enzymes by soaking in letting some of that calcium into the corn. The industrialization of corn in the 90s, it kind of changed the process where they would still nixtamalize to remove the skin, but then they would now let it soak, and then they would let it dry, and then they process it, mill it, so you can get flour. So that's kind of the biggest difference between the corn the process that we do into the industrialization, and then we can get into the different corn that they use in here. But when it comes to the process, it just we've done it for thousands of years. The word actually comes from ashes because ashes was the first alkaline that they used um, to nixtamalize.
Mhm.
And then now we use calcium hydroxide that is kitchen safe
Yeah.
and it is very minimum. We because the way that we cook it, we use about 0.5%.
Mhm.
And then it's diluted on water, and then whatever it gets soaked is like very, very minimum.
Yeah.
But it does activates all the good enzymes. You get potassium, you get calcium, you get niacin, you get a lot of fiber, which the only thing the corn doesn't have is protein. But that's what when you
That's
have
what the barbacoa is for.
Yeah.
That's what the barbacoa is for.
Yes. But it's we when we do stuff with the corn too, is like we try to look at it as a super flavorful plate that you can put whatever into it. And then when you say there's a great vehicle to it, that's the way that we see it.
Yeah.
It's something that's like the most flavorful plate that you can see.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's an edible plate.
It's an
That's a great way to look at it. So beyond this culinary significance, what cultural and historical importance does this process hold for you specifically?
I think of the well-being. I think the importance is as professional chefs, which we both are. I think our priority or commitment to our guests is to provide with something that is good for them and the best possible.
Mhm.
So, I think that's where we both come from. Like from when we were in San Francisco or wherever we went, we always like trying to serve the best product possible.
Mhm.
So if we were gonna do tortillas, we needed to do the same.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I also think there's something to be said for if everything went to hell in a handbasket, right? I have these few humble ingredients.
Mhm.
With the know-how, I can do this. That
Mhm.
is special, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
because even when just think about the amount of uh, things that were made before the industrial revolution, and all this machinery. This was happening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With stone and a kamal.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
minimal
effort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing fancy, and amazing, and better than what we can do. All the know-how in the world.
Yes,
Yeah.
and culturally too, I think something that it always, like me personally, bugged me is you go to a supermarket, and then you get the aisle of the tortillas, and the aisle is bigger than the hamburger buns. And then you look up, and it's like Latin food or international food, and like you get it's a relation to the connection the tortillas have with Mexican food. I mean, some brands even use the flag.
Yep.
Mhm.
And to know that product is either not good for you and also not good taste, to me it was almost insulting. So the only way that you can change that is like, well, if we wanted to change that, then we have to do it. Like
Yeah.
Like
there,
with branding, and specifically as Mexican, I mean, Native Americans did the same process.
Yes.
Sean Sherman's making tortillas
Yep.
at the Indigenous Food Lab. Like this isn't this. This was an American product.
Yes.
Right,
They put the
yes.
Mexican flag on it. Like they eat it everywhere.
Right. Yeah. It's an insane. That's a great point you bring up too, because there's so much. Corn has been very important to Native Americans for eons as
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
and so much so that the Indian corn. The name
Mhm.
Indian corn
Yes.
is.
Well, and that's what we're
It's-
using. Our heirloom corn is Indian corn.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
actually,
And so,
Mexicans are Native Americans.
absolutely, yeah, go figure.
They were here before.
Absolutely. And that's so even that's I was just having this conversation a couple of weeks ago about I remember being a kid, and I'm probably dating myself. But being a kid, and you saw Indian corn like
Mhm.
off it was readily available, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you the last time that I without some kind of like ornate
Decorative.
decorative
Yes.
thing next to a scarecrow or some crap
Mhm.
like that. But like we like see it for purchase,
Yeah.
like that, and without the process and the things that you guys are doing, those things go away. And
Yes.
then the kids don't know. So they don't even know what they're missing. So it'll just be gone forever. Plus corn is one of those things that, you need, human interaction for it to happen.
Yes.
Mhm.
So there's,
Yes.
there's no wild,
No,
there's no
corn.
wild corn anywhere.
Mhm.
Let's talk about and we talked about this a little earlier, but the community is powerful. So you guys are part of a very unique community where your restaurant lies. But I believe the community that you build extends outside of course, the four walls of your restaurant and the region, because the beauty of the internet and what it is we're doing, your story gets to travel. So
Mhm.
therefore, the community grows exponentially. Talk to me about the importance and the responsibility that you feel in order to just make sure that the local farmers are part of the conversation. And because we can't, everything comes from the ground up.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No farmers, no food, no restaurants. It's a very simple equation, and people they don't really look at where their food truly comes from and who's making it possible to get from point A to point B.
Mhm.
I gotta send you guys a link to the film because I did a whole film about farming, and
Yes,
and
please do.
I spent time in Merced County, in the San Joaquin Valley, actually going through and talking to farmers and the whole thing, like, because it's important. Talk to me about, and I know that's important to you because we just talked about it, but
Yeah.
what legacy are you intending to leave through the lens, because the farmer doesn't really get to talk. We are the food is the spokesman for the farmer.
Yes.
Mhm.
So how do you carry that weight?
Ah, there's so much pressure on both ends, I think, that when
Yeah.
we talk about this, because you want to make sure you're getting the best product, then taking care of it very, very well, and then that the person on the other end is also happy receiving that product and that they're getting something that's better for them, has higher nutritional value, all of these things. Also is interesting and cutting edge in some way because you want to still, stay relevant in this like big restaurant community too.
Right.
So I think it's a lot, and we have also the responsibility to our community too. Like we do a lot of outreach, especially to like schools. He was a judge for the Junior Iron Chef, or actually competitor. He competed with a
Mhm.
team of kids. We're going to judge some class at Roosevelt this weekend because like we love making sure that we have a 4.5-year-old.
Yeah.
There's a responsibility and idea that like, we grew up with the white Wonder Bread and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And now things are changing, but how do we educate these kids and next generations too about like why is it okay for a baguette to be $12 but not like a taco?
Yeah. It's a great
And going into
it's a
those
great point.
communities
That's a
where
great point.
where they are filled with Latino and immigrant children
Yeah.
in these schools, and like they love seeing him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That yeah, the seeing representation matters. I don't care
A
what
lot.
anybody says. And I just know for me, being a young black kid, so I was always the youngest. I got into the 16. And so when I fell into fine dining, God knows, God had his hand on me. I didn't belong at all. But I was, the youngest, the darkest, and I felt the most out of place. Always. And then I realized that I'm just chicken. No matter where I go. So chicken can be in anywhere from fine dining to I'm translatable. I've learned to be a linguistic champion enough to be able to describe and communicate my thoughts, needs, and my point of view, no matter who I sit across from. And so you only learn that from representation. So when
Yeah.
you get to see when you get to see yourself in someone else and see the possibilities, that's why it's important for those kids to see you. That's a beautiful thing.
Well, and like all the accolades we just talked about, it's like those things we really only care about because they open more doors to those rooms
Absolutely.
where you're changing the demographic and the dynamic
For
because
sure.
you're part of the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
For sure.
you know, I think the importance of not that I consider myself a role model, but then you hope that when you go to these schools and you talk to these kids, that one of them would think that if I made it, he can make it.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well,
and I
There's
think
importance in like trade jobs too,
Yeah.
because this is
Listen.
different. You're like, I mean, we all know we can go to culinary school, sure, but like, did we need to? No, we probably
Yeah.
could have learned everything on the job. It was
Right.
just about getting in the right kitchens and learning from the right people
Right.
who wanted to teach. And but seeing that, there's no longer something that like, oh, you work in a restaurant, oh, you're a chef,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that changed years ago, and it's not okay. So you're here, you from an immigrant family, your parents are cooks, but guess what? This guy's a chef.
Mhm. Yeah, and it means something.
Yeah.
And it's a not only it's a very important job to have.
Mhm.
You're also galvanizing and you're leading. You have your family and you have your work family, right? So your team is just as dependent on you as your kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And a good leader feels that pressure every day. Like I don't want to let, and it goes back and forth. So I always say that people don't work for jobs; they work for people. And when somebody respects you enough they don't want to let you down, and because you're not letting them down, that cycle is what keeps life going. And that's the beautiful part about the restaurants. I learned all of my life skills from working in restaurants, like all of the important soft skills that are now dying.
Yes.
My sister and her husband worked in restaurants for years too. He's a banker now,
Yeah.
but he always says, and I think it's important that he understands this, but he's a bartender, just 13, 14 years. When he sees that somebody has service industry experience on their resume, he's more likely to hire them.
Absolutely. This is not for everybody too. I also equate cooking to like singing.
Mhm.
So you can go to school and learn musical theory all you want. Either you can sing like Mariah Carey, or you can't.
Yeah.
So and now here's the beauty. That's okay. That's okay. He's a dancer. He's a dancer though. Okay. Now there's different ways and a lot of different ways to earn a living in this business. Now some people from here to here they don't have it, right? But they can tell you, the great teachers, great coaches, great cookbook writers. But there's the skill set for I know guys that never been on the same side of the street as the school that just have it. These guys are just monsters, and that to me, that skill set you can cultivate it. You can't necessarily teach somebody to have that rhythm. I can put you in the right position.
Adaptability, I think, is the big thing. Because that just changing, like as you grow into a position in a kitchen, whether it's you start as a dishwasher, you move to line cook, then you're a sous chef, then you're the chef. Like it's also changing with the food trends, like what's hot right now. Like
It's a lot. And you have to love it enough. Okay, and we're all masochists, right? So that's what. Who else do you know gets their shit kicked in, and still comes every day? Like I just like, and it's like, I'll be better tomorrow.
Yes,
it is, and there's no greater feeling than to stab the last ticket. Like this was a horrible day, and it makes for great stories.
There's great stories.
Makes for great stories. And it's a sense of accomplishment. It's in real time though, like literally in real time. Like to be able to conquer that type of mountain.
Yep.
With a team is no greater feeling. It really is. It's no greater feeling. And I hope the masses will get to feel.
Yeah, I mean we're no Tim Borals, but I mean I would assume that's how they feel if they win a game together, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's we always. I always have this idea of seeing the kitchen team as like a sports team.
For sure.
And it's gonna be the times where like one player is not doing okay and the whole team has to kind of carry him along And I think that's true in life or your community, and then just trying to have better days and be the positive one, and as a leader, you're the one that pushes. You're the one that has the beat, and you're the one that has the rhythm that everybody's moving at.
You're the team captain. But the
Absolutely.
goalie is definitely the dishwasher.
The guy-
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. I always say, so in all my restaurants, I used to always tell if the dishwasher was down, or you can see when they're struggling, right?
Mhm.
But specifically, if the dishwasher was out, everybody does 15 minutes in the pit. Everybody. And so
Mhm.
you're going to respect this guy. So he's the most important guy in the building.
Yes.
He doesn't do his job, no food goes out. I don't care what you say. We don't get any pans. We
No
can't
food
cook.
gets cooked.
No,
yeah.
nothing moves if this dude is not on his job, and he gets shitted on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I think we how to say I think it's three positions in the restaurant. They mark how the day goes. The person on the door, the person on the pass, and the dishwasher.
Yeah.
If like all the other ones, there can be move and arrange and kind of fill in for.
They can shit the bed. They have an
Somebody
off
will
day.
pick it up.
Oh
They
my
have
God.
they have an off day. It crashes the
It
system.
crashes everything.
The whole system crashes, and most people don't understand that. Like diners don't understand it. They're like, so that you can completely alter the mood of a person by being greeted properly. Here's the other thing: most people don't go out to eat. You have to have a bad time. So like, we are in this business to either enhance or shit the bed. So like, nobody's going out to have to purposely have a bad time, but it happens, right? And usually for one of those three things,
Yes.
the greeter, or something that the kitchen's at a standstill. Usually, it's something's going on.
Yes, yes.
Something's going on with the dish guy.
The machine broke.
Yeah,
or-
something's happening. Yeah, something's happening. That's great. I'm glad you just said that. We need to have a National Dishwashers Day.
Yes.
We should.
100%.
I'm. You know what? We're putting that into action. Over tacos, of course. Okay. So before I let you guys go, we like to close out with a little game I call the lightning round. So in the lightning round, it's a quick fire answers. I'm going to give you a phrase or a word. Mostly it's going to be a phrase. And then you give me the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared.
Case like, I don't know.
I'm just gonna
you want
stay
the first
silent
thing?
over
You want
here.
the first thing? Okay. Yeah. All right, here we go. What's a smell that instantly takes you back to childhood?
Dry chilies.
Dang.
I can smell the chilies too. When you said that,
Yeah,
that's
I don't
it's
know.
crazy how the mind
I don't
works.
know if I know one. Probably like chicken, like broth, like
Okay,
broth all the time.
that smells good too. One ingredient you'll defend until the end, no matter what any haters say.
Corn.
Corn.
That's a good one.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many people have walked into the restaurant without doing their research, being like, I'm allergic to corn. And I'm like, I don't know how to say this to you nicely. What would you say?
If you go out and make a left.
Seriously, a lot of the time it's like, I might be better.
Yeah, there's
know,
rice
young
down the
Johnny.
street.
Yeah. It's hard because even from like, I can't even do corn oil. And I'm like, okay, so like, no.
So a lot of people, have you found this too? A lot of people they're not allergic to the corn, it's the process in which it was done. So
Right.
all of that,
Right.
All that.
Right.
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
they allow for you to explain that, you can have that conversation and be like, we don't actually do that. You don't like this corn because it's like fortified with niacin. This is natural. You
Yes.
do all of that. And then they're
Absolutely.
like, oh.
Right.
But
Describe each other's cooking style in one word.
Organized.
I'd assume it's like a tornado. But now I'm thinking like not as like
Tornadoes
a
are organized.
chef cooking anymore, right? I'm thinking like, oh, he's talking about like my food at home cooking. Like it's usually like what's in the fridge. It's all going in that pot. But his is innovative. Like he really wants to push the envelope on a lot of things.
Love that. Okay, and finally, one word to describe the restaurant.
Home.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Home.
That's a great one.
And we always, between the art and wanting to have artists that are friends, like grace the walls, to also, it's a very humble space. It came, it was a wellness clinic before. We didn't invest a lot of money to blow out the ceilings and,
Right.
and do crazy light fixtures. It's just, we didn't have the means to do that. But to wanted someplace where everybody's comfortable. And we have, again, a small kid. So we like that in the early seatings, like there's families there.
Yeah.
Like just because it was James Beard nominated and it was in the New York Times and it was in Bon Appetit, like it doesn't have to be for people who are driving from the suburbs somewhere on a Friday, Saturday night.
Right.
It'd be for everyone.
Awesome. Okay. You guys have to tell everyone where they can follow you guys, come see you guys. Give me all the things.
Okay, so we're across the street from here, obviously.
No, but-
1222 2nd Street Northeast, Minneapolis.
literally across the street.
Is Oro, our flagship restaurant. That's where we produce all the tortillas that then get distributed around the Twin Cities. But we're in most co-ops around the Twin Cities, so you can always find our tortilla there to make delicious tacos at home. And lastly, we also have Tixley by Nixta, is in the Gray's Food Hall, downtown Minneapolis, right? A couple blocks from the Twins Stadium and like Modest Brewing.
Okay. And where can they follow you on socials?
On Instagram, we have Tixley by Nixta, or Nixta MPLS is the Instagram handle for our restaurant, and just general nonsense.
and also nixtaminneapolis.com. So you can definitely go there. All the good stuff is there. Again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
For
Thanks.
It was
coming.
fun.
This has been a blast. And sorry about the travel.
If I hit traffic on the way home, I'm gonna be mad.
I
I have to
appreciate
wait
it.
for the red
The
light.
only
Yeah.
the only traffic in Northeast is usually just when the turkeys show up on.
Yeah,
random lots,
exactly.
right?
Oh my God, damn turkeys. Okay, this has been Taste Music Here Food Podcast Show. I am your host, Ed Porter. Until next time.
Awesome. Thanks for having us. That was fun.
NBC. No relation to NBC. NBC. No relation to NBC.